Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Waypoint. Today I have for you two extremely subpar games, the first one being the most subpar. The second one had some decent moments in if I remember right, but still not a great game. Of course you're seeing live gameplay today. The way I would like to do it is to just keep a bookmark of a match or two where I did good that week and then show you that one in theatre mode. That's kind of the general idea. But I told you about issues I was having with theatre mode last week. This week's no different. I went into theatre mode, tried to forward wind by 10 seconds, game crashed back to a home screen. Okay, load it back up, get back in there, and then at some point I'm like, oh, I've gone too far, I need to move the time backwards 10 seconds, game crashes to home screen. So yeah, the theatre mode is still absolute dog shit, if I'm gonna put it lightly, but you know, I guess it'll buff out in time. Yeah, we're playing Fiesta today because Fiesta's the event, and who knows if it's going to stick around after the event. I would like the events to like introduce game modes and then for them to stick around for playlist variety, but what I suspect is going to happen is it's probably going to go away and then everyone's going to be like, what the fuck, they took Fiesta away? And then they're going to be really mad about it. Probably rightfully so, because Fiesta's fun. But yeah, these were not good games I recorded. Just in case that negative introduction gave you the wrong idea, I'm still having a lot of fun with Halo Infinite, still playing it a lot. I've completed the Tenrai event, I think it's called, which only gets you 7 challenges. There's a thing where every time I talk about it I'm going to sound negative because I'm going to be talking about the way the cosmetic progression works in the event pass and everything, and I'm very critical about many aspects of that, but I'm not going to go into that here because you've probably already heard it from other people. It's not exactly a niche thing to be annoyed about, but the game itself, the swishing of a sword and the chopping that dude up and then getting blown up, all amazing stuff as always, of course. I think I'm relieved that it's the progression systems that are the issue and not the gameplay, because that would be a much harder fix if it was the gameplay. Progression issues, I assume that this time next year will be like, hey, they fixed the game. If not, then boy, I don't want to eat those words, but I guess I would be eating those words in that case, wouldn't I? What is happening this week with me and my life? Well, this is the first week where a major game hasn't released in a little while, so I actually have a lot less to talk about than I have in the most recent episodes, so I'm at a slight loss, but I'm not, I think I'll manage, don't worry, I've got stuff to talk about. Like the fact that last night and today I decided to get caught up on some Xbox Game Pass indie games, because it's been all AAA games all the time lately for me, and I don't want to miss what's coming out, so I downloaded a game which I feel like nobody would bother to tell you about otherwise, so I'm gonna tell you about it. It's called Exo One. It's a short little 2-hour game, and that's kind of a thing I've been appreciating more and more nowadays. Like back in the day, if you told me, oh, it's like a 2-hour game, I'd be like, then why bother? What's the point? The only thing I used to be interested in was finding my new forever game. This was before live service games were really that much of a thing and everyone wanted to be your forever game. Now, funnily enough, it's kind of the other way around. I'm like, oh, you just want 2 hours of my attention? Sure, okay. Don't tell the movie industry, but we're gonna hang out for 2 hours. That's a little in joke about the fact that I don't watch many movies, because I find a movie to be a big commitment, a big time commitment. But anyway, Exo One is this, I don't know how to explain, it's like this physics based, it's not a sim, I don't know why I started to say simulation, it's not any kind of simulation, it's like this physics based spaceship pilot game thing where did you ever play that game on mobile back in the day where it was 2D side scrolling, but like you would tap to make, I don't even remember what animal they used, but it was like a penguin or something. Your penguin go down to like a slope, and then you would let go as it was going up the slope, and you would like build up momentum that way and fly really far. It's like that, but in 3D, and you're piloting a spaceship across a planet, and there's multiple planets to get to and multiple environments. And it's not the most in-depth game in the world. It's not the most complicated game in the world. It's actually quite relaxing and meditative in many ways, but I would recommend it. It's nice when you really get a good flow going, of like gliding for ages and then jumping, like enabling high gravity to hit a hill and then letting go, and then you just go careening off into the distance at just the right trajectory. It's a lot of fun. and there's even some replayability past the 2 hour mark because there's achievements for hitting certain speeds and heights in each planet, as well as replaying the game and finishing it within a certain amount of time, which I'm probably not going to bother with. It's got a nice little sci-fi story going on in the background too, nothing that'll blow anyone's minds, but it's nice little mystery to try and piece together what's going on. And yeah, I recommend it if you have Xbox Game Pass. I don't know if it's on PC, but on console at least, go give Exo One a look. I think it's also an XS game. I don't think it's on Xbox One, sadly, but yeah, it's good. Go play it. Speaking of things that are good, yesterday I watched the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye, and I honestly could not tell you how long that show has been out for, because I have seen absolutely nobody talk about it. I'm not going to give spoilers or anything like that, don't worry, but I just want to mention it real quick because well, first of all, this is a very game-focused weekly show, and I feel like I should try and diversify that a bit. But I'm a very game-focused person, so that would be me trying to diversify my life a bit. So I leap at the chance to talk about a series instead sometimes. But yeah, Hawkeye is definitely a hard sell, and they even make that joke about the character in the show, but his whole brand is kind of a hard sell because, you know, amongst, you know, Iron Man and the other ones, that makes me sound like an Iron Man stan. Wait, no, let me redo that. Among Iron Man and Captain America and the Hulk and all of that, all of these superpowered people, I guess Iron Man isn't superpowered, but you know what I mean. He's like the guy with a bow and arrow, you know, and he's never been that interesting, at least not in my opinion. But this show does a really, really fucking good job of making him interesting, and putting him in a world where obviously, you know, he's the main, or he's one of the main characters, he's kind of one of the main focuses of the show, the other obviously being Kate Bishop, and they get to, for the very first time, take a real deep dive into his life and what it's like now that he's got his family back, and how he's coping as a dad and all this kind of thing, and how that's gonna, you know, mash with the events of a show as shit kicks off and hits the fan and stuff, with Kate Bishop's character and what's going on in her life and how they meet and stuff. And it's just, you know, I'm not eloquating this very well. Just trust me, it's really good. It has, I'm gonna give off a wrong impression when I say this, but it has Jessica Jones vibes, not in the kind of like nitty gritty nihilistic view of the world that show may or may not pertain. I don't know how to talk about shows, do I? I mean more in 2 ways. Obviously setting, it's in New York, and Jessica Jones was set in New York along with the other shows like Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage, which they're too cowardly to bring back, damn it. Do it, bring it back, at least put it on Disney Plus. What the hell are you doing? It's probably some sort of deal I don't know about, that's an issue, but whatever. But in another way, it's got the thing that's not only in Jessica Jones, but also in like Breaking Bad and stuff like that. It's got the kind of, I don't know what the right word would be. I guess visual storytelling is what I said to Reese, where, you know, you're following these characters through their daily lives, and it's a lot of showing and not telling. Like, there's a scene I really like, which isn't a spoiler, where, but it happens right at the start of the show, where Clint goes into the bathroom and he sees written on the wall, or written on the sink even, Thanos was right, and like you just see how he reacts to that, having obviously been in that fight and having lost people to Thanos' cause and stuff like that. And it's not overblown, it's just like a tiny little moment, but the show is made up of lots of tiny little moments like that in between scenes, and I love shows that do that. It's maybe my favourite thing in storytelling when it comes to TV shows. I get tripped up on that. It's not a TV show because it's not on TV. Is it on TV? Is there a channel in America that's airing it at some point? I don't even know. But yeah, it's good, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Go watch Hawkeye. Another thing that's good, and that is probably airing right now at the moment of recording, and I'm going to go and watch when it's done, is Doctor Who. And I say good. Obviously, we're all going to have our opinions. Doctor Who is extremely divisive, but I'm having fun with it. The only episode I haven't liked this series so far is episode 2, and I think tonight it's episode 5 that's airing, if you want to keep track of what I'm talking about. Obviously, I record these on Sundays, you watch them on, well, I can't even assume when you watched them. You may be watching this 2 or 3 years from now, stranger, but I publish these on a Monday. I'm not going to get into details about what's even happening in the Doctor Who season, because people might not be caught up. I'm not going to give spoilers. I'll do a thoughts on video at the end of the season, summing up my thoughts, but it's just, I just wanted to throw it out there. In like, speaking of series which are good right now, Doctor Who is one of them. I'm enjoying it. Although I will add the caveat that I'm enjoying it, and I'm excited for Russell T Davies to return. Read from that what you will. Also, in terms of series that are really good, which I'm not going to talk too much about because of spoilers, Wheel of Time. Did I talk about this last week at all? I don't think I did. Did I? You know what? I'm not sure I'd actually watched it last week. I think, yeah, I was a few days late to the first 3 episodes that they put up on Prime. But The Wheel of Time is getting an Amazon Prime Video adaptation, and it's, so far, really good. Quite different. They change a few things, but it feels more like things which, I mean, some stuff in episode 1 I didn't love. Regarding a character relationship. No, I feel like I did talk about this last week. Hang on. Oh, fuck me. It was the entire second half of the episode. This is bad. I'm clearly losing memory. Okay, well, all I have to say about Wheel of Time then is that episode 4 has really gotten me sold on the series. It's really good. And episode 4 is probably the most different out of all of them compared to the books. They've, like, shifted the time frame of a particular event that happens, I believe, a little bit before the book starts. They've put it into the show, and with good reason, because I know what happens later on as well, which I'm not going to talk about. But yeah, I'm really happy that they're doing this justice. Like, there was a really good character moment at the end of that episode, and I feel confident recommending people the show not over the books, but like, it's hard to recommend a 14-book series to people sometimes, you know. I feel confident being like, you don't have to read the 14 books, like, go watch the Prime Video adaptation. But again, we are only 4 episodes in. They have plenty of space to screw it up, and I am still slightly concerned about the fact that they're half rewriting it, because obviously that leads to changes upon changes upon changes. By the time we get to season 14, are they going to do 14 seasons? My god. I mean, that's the thing though, right? The way they're doing it, they could do, like, they could squeeze it into 8 seasons, but I feel like that would be a mistake. But yes, Wheel of Time, it's good. Go watch it. Now, as you may have guessed, I really don't have that much to talk about in the way of video games, because I haven't been playing anything new. It's kind of why I went on an indie game spree last night. I've been playing Halo Infinite, I've been playing Halo the Master Chief Collection, I've been playing Forza Horizon 5. I have been playing Pokemon, although I haven't played it in a couple of days. I'm in one of those kind of weeks where I'm juggling a lot of games, and I'm trying not to drop any of them because I'm enjoying them all so much. I'm also back into playing Star Wars The Old Republic. I'm not sure if it's gonna stick. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not, like, extremely hooked on it. Like, I feel like I could not play it again for a few months and be fine. But I got a little bit further through the Sith Inquisitor storyline. I've also learned that the Sith Inquisitor storyline, especially the female Sith Inquisitor, is highly regarded among all the storylines. So there's that. I'm currently on Alderaan, and yeah, it's fun. How much of this video boils down to me talking about something and then just saying, yeah, it's fun, go play it, go watch it, or whatever. But seriously, Star Wars The Old Republic, I feel like every time I play it, I need to put out like a tweet or something, or I'm like, hey, by the way, this game still exists and it's still healthy, and please, I want people to continue playing it so it doesn't go away before I'm done playing it, for that very selfish reason. But also because I want people to realise that it exists and go out of their way to try it, because literally the only reason I discovered that it was still a thing that people played, and that it was worth playing in this would have been 19, I think, when I started, was because I was thinking about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and I was like, oh yeah, they did that MMO, didn't they? So I looked up a video about what Star Wars The Old Republic was like in 2019, and there was one community person who made loads of videos about it, and I think Swatorista was their name, and they absolutely sold me on it. So maybe just search in YouTube, is it worth playing Star Wars The Old Republic in 2021, and they probably have a video up about it that you can go and watch. But to answer in short, do you like World of Warcraft? Do you like Star Wars? Do you like BioWare RPGs in terms of story, wheel and dialogue choice? If the answer to those questions is all 3, absolutely drop what you're doing and go and play it. Yes, what are you doing? Why aren't you playing it? If it's 2 out of 3, then yeah, give it a try. Like, it's free to play. I wouldn't recommend the free to play side of it, but normally you can like buy a month for like £8, and then the preferred status, the middle subscriber option, it pretty much has you covered for most gameplay. That's what I use. I use the preferred status to get through the story, because you can just play the story mode through it. There's a couple of annoyances, like you can't hide your helmet and stuff like that, but you know, they know where to get you with that stuff, don't they? I think I'd probably dive more headlong into Star Wars: The Old Republic if I wasn't also playing Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5 and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, and you know, the list I already rattled off. Anyway, I've run out of things to talk about, so I'm going to let an AI write the end of this video from this exact point. Any questions about her code? Question: how does she do it? Answer: it's called method in a method that precedes the code, and if you go look at the previous episode, you'll see that I'll sometimes put it in a comment. Pretty simple, really. Question: what is the syntax for this whole thing? Answer: well, it depends on what the episode is called, but generally, we put these together like so. Screen grab this now. Control-Shift-C, A, Control-Shift-C, Control-Shift-C, Control-Shift-C.